We are at, I would say, the beginning of the end, but the end is hard.
New York State's budget is more than a week overdue, and the days are adding up. Where progress stands as we expect another delayed deadline.
Plus, an apparent dispute between neighbors turns deadly. What we know about the death investigation in Water Vliet.
And protecting your online privacy is a bipartisan issue, how some federal lawmakers are hoping to shield you from bad actors.
CBS 6 News starts now.
First tonight at 5, lawmakers missed their first 2 deadlines to pass the state budget. It's now a week and a day overdue.
There's really little to no chance they'll meet the next deadline later this week because the Senate Majority Leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, today announced another extender expected to pass on Thursday. CBS 6's Ashley Kusakaki was at a meeting with the Senate Majority Leader today. She joins us live now in Albany. Ashley, it looks like they are eyeing next Tuesday now, maybe? All right, what say you as far as taking a look outside tonight? We turn around and we see the city of Schenectady. Schenectady's here, and Steve LaPointe, he's back from the eclipse. Back
from his eclipse trip. Let's send things over to him. Steve, a beautiful day today.
Yeah, absolutely spectacular day today. I'll share some pictures.
The first parents to ever be convicted in their child's mass school shooting in the U.S. are each sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison.
Parents are not expected to be psychic. But these convictions are not about poor parenting. These convictions confirm repeated acts or lack of acts that could have halted an oncoming runaway train.
Police say James and Jennifer Crumbley's 15-year-old son Ethan opened fire at Oxford High School in Michigan in 2021, killing 4 students. Prosecutors say the Crumbleys failed to safely store a gun or try to address their son's mental health issues. The Crumbleys say they had no idea, expressing sorrow for the victims and their families while also begging the judge for a break.
Your child can make a fatal decision, not just with the gun, but a knife, a vehicle, intentionally or unintentionally. If there's anything the general public can take away from this, is that this could happen to you too.
I cannot express how much I wish that I had known what was going on with him.
Ethan, now 17, pleaded guilty to terrorism and murder. He's serving life in prison without the chance of parole. Well, today, an exciting day. We're giving back. It's a national day of service for CBS 6 and our parent company, Sinclair.
Yeah, CBS 6's Emma Quinn jumped into the action. She spent the day up at the Double H Ranch in Lake Luzerne.
Since 1993.
A special place for sure. Double H has about 1,500 volunteers throughout the year. That can include students and those needing community service hours.
For those interested in donating or volunteering, you can find more information on our website at cbs6albany.com. A great cause there. Great to see our team getting involved.
Yeah, good to see them. You know, rubbing those windows, making those beds. I like it.
Yeah, well, next here at 5, federal protections for your online privacy in the works.
It's an issue getting bipartisan support that could change how companies can handle your data.
Dire warnings about artificial intelligence. So why is so little being done in this country?
2 top U.S. lawmakers from opposing parties have unveiled a plan to give all Americans a right to online privacy. The bipartisan deal would ban the transfer of your personal data to third parties.
And it would prohibit them from tracking, predicting, and manipulating people's behaviors for profit without their consent or knowledge. As Michelle Esteban reports, if this becomes law, it would make privacy a consumer right. Michelle Esteban reporting. One thing you can do in the meantime is reduce your online footprint. There are free applications to help you do so. Just on the go, interactive radar and more at your fingertips. Find that in your app store by searching WRGB.
I love the enthusiasm and excitement in Steve's voice as he talks about the eclipse.
I know, it was exciting, and those pictures were incredible.
And they really were.
Yeah.
I want to see more. All right, sports coming up next. Here's a look, though, what's ahead at 5:30.
The head of the nation.
Back to you.
That we will. Thank you, AJ. More news next at 5:30. I'm back here at 6 o'clock.
Stay with us after the break. She's a highly celebrated athlete from right here in the capital region. Dottie Pepper's drive for success also started right here at home.
And coming up later at 6, critical support meant for veterans not going where it's meant to. Yes, some are getting funds, a few, but those most in need are still waiting, and you paid for it.
Now.
First at 5:30, your top stories and weather headlines. A suspect now in custody for the stabbing and killing of a man in Watervliet. Martin Bassett facing a manslaughter charge for the stabbing death of Daryl Willits. Police say they were neighbors in a building on 6th Street in Watervliet, where a dispute between the two ended with a deadly stabbing. And Troy police responding to a shooting this morning. They say it happened around 1 a.m. on Mann Avenue. No injuries have been reported. Anyone with information is asked to call them. And another day, another extension for the New York State budget deadline. The state Senate Majority Leader says another extender is expected this week after the deadline was pushed back from April 1st. The deadline is expected to be pushed back to next Tuesday. In-depth coverage on all of these stories online. Just head to CBS6Albany.com. All right, Steve, thanks. Get your weather updates anytime with the CBS 6 Weather Authority app. Find that in your app store by searching WRGB. Well, this week, a highly celebrated woman athlete from the Capital Region will be front and center at one of the most prestigious sporting events in the world. Liz Bishop is here with a preview of her interview with Dottie Pepper. Liz.
Amanda, she's been such a household name in the world of golf that it really is hard to pick up tonight at 6:30. Hope you'll join me for that.
All right, looking forward to that, Liz. Thank you. Legislation to rescue abandoned animals and vacant properties passing the Senate. Senator Michelle Hinchy, who sponsored the legislation, says the bill requires property owners to inspect vacated properties for abandoned pets within 3 days of a tenant's departure. The legislation would require the property owner to notify animal control or police about the abandoned pet and care for it until those agencies address it. Well, the New York Racing Association, or NYRA, announcing plans to reserve 100 picnic paddock tables during the Belmont Stakes in Saratoga Springs for 25 local nonprofit organizations. The organizations were selected for their support of veterans, those facing food insecurity, and those tackling homelessness in our region. Local recipients include the Bernard and Miller Duker Children's Hospital at Albany Med and the Boys and Girls Club of the Capital area, among others. The tables are worth up to $25,000 each. The Belmont Stakes will take place June 6th through the 9th this summer. Monster Jam returns to Albany this weekend. CBS 6 digital content producer Jana DiCamilla spoke to driver Ashley Sanford ahead of the big shows at MVP Arena on Friday and Saturday.
I am just so grateful to be a woman in motorsports. It's crazy, right? Because growing up, I grew up very recreationally competing in motorsports, and I watched my dad and my grandpa and my uncles compete, and I wanted to be like them, and they never made me feel any different for being a female and wanting to compete in a man's world.
The excitement begins at the Monster Jam pit party right before the weekend afternoon events.
Our shows, they're exciting through and through. They really are, because when it comes to Monster Jam, you can't script it if you tried. You never know what these trucks are going to do.
Well, fans can see the massive trucks up close, meet their favorite drivers and crews, get autographs, and take pictures. For more information and tickets, visit this story at CBS6Albany.com. Arizona is the latest abortion battleground state, with its Supreme Court reviving an 1864 law criminalizing almost all abortions. Reproductive rights advocates are pushing to get a measure protecting abortion access on the ballot this November, the issue critical to the upcoming presidential election. Danya Bacchus reports.
Arizona State Supreme Court.
JP Morgan Chase's CEO making headlines for comments to shareholders about his outlook for the U.S. economy, calling for a shift in energy policy. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar has more tonight from Washington.
When Jamie Dimon...
Still to come, the eclipse may be over, but potential side effects from it may not be. What doctors say you should look out for if you think you may have received eye damage as a result. Plus, it's a troubling trend from apps like TikTok, a closer look at how kids are using social media for mental health diagnosis. If you looked at Monday's solar eclipse without proper eye protection, you may be concerned about eye damage. Experts say it could take 12 hours for symptoms to appear, ranging from blurry vision to headaches. You can also experience blind spots, distorted vision, and changes in the way you see color. If your eyes are feeling strained, experts say it could be temporary, but you'll still need to visit an eye doctor to learn about the extent of any possible damage. And now that the eclipse is over, what do you do with your glasses? Grafton Lake State Park in Rensselaer is offering a recycling option, partnering with Astronomers Without Borders to keep glasses out of landfills. From now until the 20th, stop by the Grafton Lakes Welcome Center and drop the glasses in the recycle box. They'll go towards education around the world. Cicadas are emerging soon, and there could be more of them than the world has seen in 200 years. The two different groups will start appearing in May and live for about 6 weeks as part of a dual emergence and could make noises as loud as a plane. They'll eventually die off, and it will be another 221 years before the two groups appear together again. Well, scientists are turning to AI to help monitor one of the wonders of the natural world. They say the Great Barrier Reef is under threat from climate change, but new technology is helping researchers keep a closer eye than ever on that threat. Ian Lee reports.
Australia's Great Shine.
Thanks. Coming up all new at 6 tonight on CBS 6, funding to directly benefit local programs in the capital region. In tonight's team report, we share how an Albany Airport Institute is taking advantage of this latest round of funding. Plus, we've been telling you for weeks about critical support meant for veterans not going where it's meant to. While some are getting funds, those in need are still behind, and you paid for it. And our CBS 6 team spending the day in Lake Luzerne for our National Day of Service. We'll share how folks are giving back. The EPA issuing new rules to protect people living in areas near chemical manufacturers. More than 100,000 Americans live within 6 miles of factories that release toxic chemicals, increasing their risk of getting cancer. The EPA calls these locations cancer alleys. One new rule cuts the amount of hazardous pollutants factories are allowed to release. The EPA says that will cut the cancer risk for people in those communities by 96%. The rule will also require real-time air monitoring at the perimeter of the company properties. A new study shows the majority of students are turning to TikTok to self-diagnose their mental health conditions, which some say is misleading young people and causing even more issues. National correspondent Janae Bowens has a closer look at the troubling trend.
Young people are turning.
For the first time since the pandemic, more workers would rather have hybrid work arrangements than fully remote setups. According to the latest Morning Consult survey, 29% of employees say they prefer only coming into the office for part of the week. 23% would rather work from home full time. Still, 46% of people prefer working in person. Well, still to come tonight, Greg Floyd is next with more on critical support meant for veterans not going where it's supposed to. And while some are getting funds, those in need are still not getting what they need, and you paid for it.